I'm in New York City at the New York Venture Summit, and it's been a really interesting conference here. Even though we're not raising money, we build technical teams for our clients in Latin America, for our clients globally, and help them also to build technical delivery centers and centers of excellence in Latin America that can help them to go beyond just renting a team, but to actually having better control over the intellectual property, the way that their team works. Really important for regulated industries like a lot of health tech and fintech companies here at the New York Venture Summit, for example. So it's interesting seeing some of the presentations here from investor panels, get a better sense of what they're looking for. And that's very relevant to a lot of our clients and the way that we can, hopefully we can support them through that and enable them through the way that we provide technical services to them. So what are some of the things that investors are looking for these days? Well, over 60% of investments these days are in AI-related companies. Not really a surprise there, but it is interesting that some of the panelists here also noted how adoption rates of AI at the enterprise level, though, are much lower than that. So could mean one of two things. Either it means that the hype is not meeting reality when trying to do AI deployments, and that's certainly true in some cases, I'm sure. So even though there's a lot of startups doing this, enterprise, in some cases, slow to adopt it. Flip side of that, which I also think is true, is that it means that there's a tremendous amount of opportunity. So even though there's a lot of investment dollars going into AI and LLM-driven applications and a lot of opportunity for that, if the enterprise is still slow in adopting it, that means that there's a lot of opportunity for you to get your startup out there into the marketplace and capture some of that market share. Another interesting point along those lines that I heard discussed was how a lot of traditional industries that in the past have resisted technical innovation will really have no choice but to come along in this AI revolution. I mean, like for instance, like one startup that I saw was an autonomous forklift company. So very traditional logistics industry type of company in the past. You don't necessarily think of it as being ripe for innovation here, but they had a pretty compelling demo around that. So what that means is that there are a lot of industries that in the past were not part of, say, internet bubble or something like that so much, but now they definitely will be a part of the AI revolution in one way or another, which means that there's, again, a lot more opportunity out there. So investors are certainly looking for AI-driven applications and LLM applications. And so that means it's really important that you are building an application that integrates that well. It's not just about creating a good prompt and showing that you could do that in ChatGPT and saying, boom, I've got a business model. No, it's how do you integrate this into your workflows in a way that's useful to your customers. And so you really need expert engineers who can help you with that. And that's certainly something that we can do at AgilityFeat, and also for communication applications through our other brand, WebRTC Ventures. We have a lot of expertise in integrating LLMs into applications. It's not trivial. So that's really important, is that you're integrating AI into these applications well in order to get investor funding. On more of a pure business and less, technical note, investors are also valuing companies for being profitable or on a path to profitability more than in the past, more than in past phases of the economy. There are certainly some sectors of investment where they still invest in companies that have zero revenue or zero profitability, because it's deep tech and it's something that maybe is in healthcare and medical device and things that take a long time to come to market, understandably. But for most startups, it's really important that you're showing that path to profitability now. And that's important because there are fewer IPOs than a number of years ago. But there are other ways too that you may be able to have a good exit with your company beyond an IPO through secondary markets or mergers and acquisitions. And so being profitable is really important, but that also means it's really important that you have control over your IP, control over how your team works, that you're building moats around your application, and protecting your use of API so that someone can't easily replicate it. So that's really important too, and that really emphasizes why you need to make sure that you have a team of your own. So for a lot of traditional development contracting, staff augmentation models, that's a problem. For us at AgilityFeat, we have a model that works very well there. We can help you, even in a regulated industry like healthcare or fintech, help you to build scalable tech teams in Latin America that are highly compliant and also, work in a fashion that meets all of your security and compliance regulations, but also that you control the intellectual property, the devices that they're working on, where they work. If you want to have them all in the office, we can set it up that way for you. Those sorts of things are important in this sort of scenario where you're looking at showing profitability to your investors, showing defensibility of what you're building, that it's not easily duplicated by others, and that you control everything around it. And so a lot of traditional staff augmentation is going to struggle to help you do that. Through our build, operate, transfer model, we can help you do that so that even though we're getting you started quickly with technical talent through a more traditional staff augmentation model, we're putting you on the path to completely owning and operating that team yourself. We're just taking all of the risk and upfront work out of it for you, and then delivering you a complete functioning team in Latin America, including an office that you want and devices and networks that you control, all of that. So that's another way that we can help you in this new environment and the way that investors are thinking about startups right now. So I think that kind of covers it here from the New York Venture Summit. Check us out at agilityfeat.com. I'd be happy to talk to you about anything in helping you build your startup and getting it on to a path of high growth.